Good morning. My name is Tshepo Mongai and welcome. This is Bottom Line. Every Monday this time around, we talk markets. Well, the US-China trade deal and the Iran and Israel ceasefire have eased fears among investors, sparking risk appetite. This pushed a number of global stocks to record highs on Friday. S&P 500 and Nasdaq hit all-time closing highs. Despite a strong reaction in major US indices, trading on the JSE edged lower. Let's take a look at how the local bars did. We saw the all-share index moving opposite direction to the broader global markets. The index finished 0.1% down at 95,862. There are a number of factors that could be attributed to the pullback on the local bars, one of them being the current tension between President Ramaphosa and his main coalition partner, the Democratic Alliance. The risk-on sentiment on Friday has seen investors selling gold, widely considered a safe asset, especially during times of economic uncertainties and market volatility. Let's take a look at that yellow metal. Just to remind you that gold surged to a record high above $3,400 an ounce on the 12th of June as economic and geopolitical tension intensified. Analysts believe that there is still interest in buying gold as a safe haven, with the current dip below $3,300 more likely to attract interest as investors tend to buy on any weakness. The US dollar weakness against some of the major currencies has continued unabated. Taking a look at the greenback, we saw the greenback at $1.23 to the British pound. It's currently sitting at around $1.37 against the pound. There's a view that the US President Donald Trump will prefer a weaker US dollar to boost American manufacturing. Let's take a look at the agricultural commodities. Looking at grain prices, for a white maize, millers are paying around 4,872 rand per ton, still below the 6,000 a ton level that we saw in January. Unfortunately, the current prices are still reflecting that spike, but we can expect the price of maize meal at retail level to continue softening due to the current bumper harvest season. However, we cannot say the same with the current market of meat prices. If you look at that, the wholesale price of Class A beef has spiked, so currently business pay anything between 83 rand per kg to around 90 rand per kg. So you will have to pay anything around 115 to 130 per kg for red meat at your local beef butcher. We look at the prices just to give you a little bit of a context when it comes to that price of beef. In September last year, an abattoir would have charged a retailer around 53 rand per kg of Class A red meat. So basically, since then, prices have increased substantially. Well, now we turn our focus on trading. And in our Traders Corner this morning, we are joined by Kamo Musime, Country Manager at Yellow Card. Kamo, thank you very much for joining us virtually this morning.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be online with you today, Tshepo.
Tell us about Yellow Card. What are you guys all about?
Yeah, of course. I mean, Yellow Card is Africa's leading and most reputable cryptocurrency platform. So we're licensed and localized in multiple countries, 20 plus to be exact, including South Africa. And we essentially enable users to buy, sell, and receive crypto, like Bitcoin, stable coins. And we do so easily through, our specialized infrastructure. We also specialize in cross-border remittances. We also offer crypto on and off-ramp services, the fastest and quickest in the region. And our main focus, being an Africa-focused company, is on financial inclusion in the region. So that's, in a nutshell, who we are. We're a 9-year-old company, about 190 people globally at this stage.
So you are all about bring about more liquidity in trade, and you also support a number of brokers in terms of settlements on behalf of their clients. So does it happen in South Africa where you find that a trader tries to liquidate their position and there's no money on the other hand in terms of settlements?
In certain markets, you can find that to be the case. We've seen it happen in markets like Zambia and Malawi. And so us being an infrastructure and liquidity provider, we're market makers. So we make it easy for people in those regions to be able to access the liquidity, to be able to withdraw from whichever platform they're using, which could be clients of ours. So as the infrastructure provider, we enable our clients essentially to allow their users to be able to withdraw and not suffer any of those liquidity constraints if need be.
So you onboard a number of companies, including brokers. What are some of your main requirements before you onboard a trader, for example?
Everything with us has to do with KYC and regulation. So the number one thing that we're trying to avoid is any kind of fraudulent activity, someone who's involved in any type of illicit trade. So we have a very stringent and extensive KYC procedure. And as long as your background checks check out, then you'll be able to trade quickly and very easily.
The current volatility in the currency market, how has it impacted you in terms of the work that you do? Obviously, you have to settle in various currencies.
Well, yeah, the volatility of global markets it's something unpredictable with everything happening in the world right now. So obviously, with us, offering crypto-based infrastructure rails, we're seeing a very increased demand in our services because, as you know, we're decentralized. We operate in that environment. It means that people can essentially hedge against currency, fluctuations, and we're seeing that happen. People are taking advantage of our services for that reason, especially in markets where their currencies are particularly volatile. So, for example, as I said, we operate mainly in the African region. In Yellow Card, we actually also offer our employees the opportunity to be paid in USDT. And about 90% of our employees have opted for that exact reason, because they are essentially getting a pay based on the USD, which is the world's strongest currency. And they're not really suffering those major fluctuations as you would if they were paying in their local currency, if that makes sense. So we're definitely seeing increased demand, and for various reasons similar.
All right. Unfortunately, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much. That's Kamo Musime, Country Manager, Yellow Card, in our Traders Corner. Join us again next week here on Morning Live. This is Bottom Line.